Hey guys, it's Ken Maxfield, otherwise known as the Hide Guy, and this is our weekly market recap for the week ending May the 22nd. Things in the United States in the big Packer market started out with Packers having a bit of mixed offers. Some of the Packers added a few selections to their list as expected. Some of the other Packers removed a couple selections, added a couple selections. But the big news was one of the Packers who had not been offering for several weeks came out with offers available to anyone and everyone who would be willing to listen to them, albeit that they were asking some prices that were almost equal to the delivered price of some of their competitors. As far as interest last week, a lot of folks were telling us they had few, if any, bids out of China. It appears Chinese tanners have gone very quiet. If you follow my reports, you'll know that I wrote about during the the first quarter, Chinese tanners are averaging 266,000 wet salted hides on a weekly basis. 6 weeks or halfway through the second quarter, they're only buying about 188,000 wet salted hides on a weekly basis. So definitely demand is trending downward, especially as it pertains to China. So the interest seen last week was predominantly outside China once again. As far as what transpired, Packers were doing their best to hold prices as steady as possible. Chinese tanners, tanners in Asia predominantly, were trying to bid $2, $3, $4 down. Counters went back out at a buck off ask. And at the end of the day, hides traded at steady to slightly lower levels. On the cow hides, there had been some decent activity the last 2 weeks. Producers appear as if they feel they could draw a line in the sand. They came out with offers that were somewhat limited. They were asking prices slightly higher than where they last traded at. Bids last week were few and far between. Buyers were trying to bid at the last traded levels or even lower than that. Producers were countering at the full asking prices. And popular opinion of the trade is there really wasn't that many hides trading hands. So as far as our knock last week came in, largest of the year, 669,000. That compares to 640 last week, 572 a year ago. If you remember, if you follow this, I'd been telling everyone that we were going to have between the 1st of April until the middle of May an extra million animals harvested, and we have. We entered April down 351,000 animals to the year prior. We are now 751,000 animals ahead of last year's pace. So being that I made that guess in February and we're 2 weeks off, I'm going to give that one a win. But kills are going to remain big. Packers are making somewhere between $750 to $900 a head, depending on the person who's counting their money. It's telephone numbers, and it's just crazy. And it's going to continue. Box prices are at all-time record highs, and there's not enough beef to cover everybody who wants some. As far as the export report, it was really nothing to write home about. 245,000 wet salted hides sold. You had shipments at 330. Wet blue sales of 50,000 and export of wet blue at 140. So the long and short of it is we had our second worst sales week of the year last week at 295,000 hides combined. Shipments were 470. That's down 100,000 from the week prior. The good news is shipments are averaging 535 for the quarter against an average of 495 in the first quarter. So things are starting to get a little bit better on the shipping side, but they're certainly not back to normal. Going around the world, our friends in Europe, sellers continue to hold the market steady. They share with me they can't get any more money, although that's not for any lack of trying. The reduced harvest numbers over there are certainly assisting them in holding the market firm. They have quietly admitted that if numbers were anywhere close to normal this time of year, they probably would be facing some underlying pressure in their market. So down in Brazil, similar story. Packers are able to hold fresh prices relatively steady because of the reduced harvest numbers. Wet blue prices unchanged, although there was some rumblings about a large Chinese tanner who bought a big package of wet blue, and that is true. They bought a bunch of 2s and 3s and they cleaned up that market, but overall TR1 prices have not changed either. And in Australia, it seems as if the upward momentum of the market is starting to stall. The higher price every week is starting to come to an end. harvest levels slightly higher, although they're still well below this time last year. So as far as what we expect to happen this coming week, there's no doubt there's a stare down going on in the marketplace. Both buyers and sellers waiting for the other to blink. As to what's going to happen, that, my friends, check out the website, www.themaxfieldreport.com. Look for the button, request free sample. Happy to send you a couple complimentary reports. If you like them, you think it's something that can help you, we can discuss a free 7-day trial. See what you're missing if you get someone else's reports, okay? That's it for now. Ken Maxwell, the Hide Guy. Until next week.